Looking for the edge? Welcome to Tea Time to Overtime. From the first tee to the final whistle, we're serving up game day insights, expert analysis, and can't miss betting picks. Whether you're riding the hot hand, chasing the underdog, or just here for the love of the game, we've got you covered. Like, subscribe, let's hit the action. This is Tea Time to Overtime. The game starts now. I'm going to start off in the NFL today, as we always do, because we want to know what the reaction around the NFL is following the passing of Colts owner Jim Irsay. Now, Jim Irsay was a legacy owner and CEO of the Colts, and it was a very somber moment for the league when that news first dropped. He passed away at the age of 65, and the franchise is expected to stay in the family, with ownership likely passing to his daughters. And I have to encourage everybody that if you want to get a true feel for what the players and a lot of the league were going through when this news dropped, please watch the Pat McCaffrey, I don't want to call it a speech, but his dedication to Jim Irsay. He was a punter for the Colts for quite a few years, so he was very close with him. But I could take up this whole show talking about what Jim did for not only the NFL, but also the community of Indianapolis. So we'll just take a quick moment of silence to honor Jim and everything that he did for the NFL and the community of Indianapolis. So thank you, Jim, for everything, brother. All right, thank you, everybody. There really wasn't many headlines going on for the, that dictate any type of odd switching or anything like that. So what we're really going to kind of focus on for headlines moving forward is going to be, it's going to be mini camp stuff, but really the big bouncing headlines is kind of be like, what is going to be the future of the organizations? We're going to have some fun, maybe even theory craft a little bit on, we have this year, we have the odds, we're pretty much set, but how is it going to look moving forward? So when we have, let's say Cam Ward, who just signed with the, officially signed his rookie contract with the Titans. What are the steps going to be for him to start? What are the things going to be? Like, what are the expectations? And then as the season goes on, we can sit here and start saying, you know what? We're looking at this, and the offense has been great since we've gotten, since we drafted this rookie, but the defense still needs work. So what do we think the odds are going to be? Are they going to be contenders moving forward for the following year and everything like that? So those are going to be kind of the headlines. And then also, too, the other ones are going to be, hopefully fun, entertaining ones that we can talk and really honestly have some fun discussions in the comments. So please, all of this throughout it, leave comments wherever it is you're listening to this or whether you're watching this on YouTube or whatnot. But let's have some fun with it. I love theory crafting. I'm a big nerd, so I love going down that path of what if type of thing. So this next headline kind of dictates the odds a little bit because the Eagles made the tush push an absolute thing. So, is the tush push still alive and should teams stop complaining? During one of the league meetings, they voted on it. They kept it a rule. They were 2 votes short of getting rid of the tush push and making it illegal in there. But my advice to all the haters and all the coaches and players that were trying to get rid of this thing, just get good, man. This thing has been around for a very long time. This isn't the first time it's happened. It's the first time that a offensive line has been able to manhandle a defensive line and defensive team and push them 5 yards. Yes, I'm talking about the Eagles like 2-3 years ago. But last year, they were still very effective with it, but nowhere to the effectiveness that they were. So I think this was just kind of a fluke thing throughout these years that the Eagles made happen and made possible. But I really think that we just need to stop complaining about these type of things and, set up the scheme, set it up, find your biggest, baddest guy. And, I don't care. Put a freaking O-lineman back there in practice. Give him the ball. And, because it's all about your defensive line pushing your offensive line. It's knowing the snap count. There are ways of doing it. Is it hard? Is it difficult? Absolutely it is. But you have a lot of teams that can't do a quarterback sneak. They can't push their quarterback a single yard or even 4th and inches and convert. So let's take a look at some tapes. Let's get good and let's move on, please. Because the tush push, cassette is a player that's been around for a very long time. So now that is over, did Brock Purdy just change the 49ers' future with his contract? Absolutely he did. San Francisco just inked Brock Purdy a 5-year, $265 million deal with $181 million guaranteed and a no trade clause. That was very surprising. I did not really see that coming. The money, sure. Last year, still, I mean, it was still a decent year for him, even though, minus the record. They also had quite a few injury problems, not just Christian McCaffrey. I know what you all are going to say. Christian McCaffrey was hurt. That's why you did bad. Yeah. No, absolutely not. Do I think Brock Purdy is that quarterback that can, truly carry a team with nobody? Absolutely not. But what his deal does is it allows the team to build around him, which is something that we saw during the Patriots' dominance, where you had some players that could have easily left New England during that dynasty run and make a lot more money somewhere else. But that would have prevented those teams from getting to the playoffs, from being a little bit better. So that is kind of the vision that I have here that I'm kind of seeing for the 49ers. I don't think they're going to come up with a dynasty with Brock Purdy or anything like that. But Brock Purdy, his stats over the past, I think it's 3 years starting, he's 67.5% completion percentage. He's thrown 64 TDs, and he has a 104.9 rating. So his stats are good, but the big question, though, is can they build something around him? Can we make sure that we're not just relying on one extra player to make it happen? Can we put kind of a arsenal around him? That will be something that we will kind of see down the road. But still having Brandon Ayuk at your wide receiver, again, if we can have Christian McCaffrey stay healthy throughout the year, because yes, absolutely, he is a very, very dynamic weapon. But I'm seeing the 49ers, they're going to be contenders, I believe, with this contract alone. But also wanted to mention, he's only had 27 interceptions in his career as well. And I say 3 years, but really it's 40 out of 51 games within the league. So I believe it was his rookie year. He only played like a handful of games and then pretty much started all 17 moving forward. I know it wasn't all 17, so I could probably almost do the math real quick, which would, about a half a season would have been his first season. And that would have been when, I believe it was when Jimmy G went down during his time. So that'll be fun. That'll be interesting to watch as the years go on, especially this 5-year no trade clause, which is actually the first time in history that the San Francisco 49ers have ever put the no trade clause in their contract. And I know we can go back and say, like Joe Montana and all that other stuff, but I really don't think that's, the players definitely weren't traded as much back then. So, again, another little fun fact about that, $265 million, $181 million guaranteed contract. So great job, Brock Purdy. Great job to his agent for getting this sealed, especially really kind of, this far in advance before the season. Training camps are just starting up and everything. So no holdouts on that end. Are the Bills, now we're going to switch over to the AFC, and are the Bills being crowned too early in 2025 betting lines? There is a good possibility, but their schedule is soft. And the reason I'm specifically talking about the schedules is because they are the only team that are favored in every single game based on their early lines per ESPN bet, including week 1 versus the Ravens and their showdown with the Chiefs. They're favored by an average of almost 6 points. So that's a lot of respect in those. Either that or it's a lot of disrespect for the teams that they are playing. Yes, they're in the AFC, East, one of the softest divisions that we have. They are heavy favorites to win that division. And like I said, it is a very soft schedule that the Bills have. They're definitely not going to go undefeated. Know that for a fact. They'll definitely win a lot of games. Like I said, they'll be, we'll be fighting for the 1 overall seed coming this season. That's my prediction. And we'll be talking about the AFC division and my picks next week. But this week, we're actually going to be going over the NFC divisions and who I really, really like. This is very early. This is premature. This is just looking at the schedule and saying, you know what, this should be it. So we're going to break it down. In the NFC South, I have the Bucs at plus 110 to win the division. NFC West, 49ers plus 145. And I do have a couple out there picks because I do believe that the Detroit Lions will make the playoffs. But I think the Packers have a little bit of a softer schedule, and they're going to take the division at plus 275. It's very hard to do what the Detroit Lions did year after year. The Patriots didn't even do that during their dynasty game. They will be involved in a lot of close games. The Lions will win them. But again, looking at the schedule, I think the Packers have the softer side of the schedule than what the Lions do with the different divisions that they are seeing. So I'm going to pick the Packers to win the NFC North. And then the NFC East, again, Eagles are going to go to the playoffs. But I think the Commanders, again, have a little bit of a softer schedule. So I'm taking the Commanders at plus 200. And I'm not taking them just because the odds, where Philadelphia specifically, who I think it was minus 145 to win the division. So I truly think that these are going to be your NFC division winners. Again, Bucs in the South, 49ers in the West, Packers in the North, and the Commanders in the East. Just checked my little notes over here. Philadelphia is minus 140 to win that division. Detroit Lions were plus 130. And honestly, I'm just taking the second best when it comes to the odds. So Green Bay Packers, again, plus 275. Commanders, plus 200. So those are my picks. I like the values plays more than the chalk this week. It's, but it's early lines. We're going to see how they move. We're going to keep an eye on them as the weeks go by. So we'll see how well this ages. Who knows? These might be some of the funny clips and the make fun of me type moments as the season goes on, or this is going to be, you know what, that Lucifer guy, he sure can pick those games. He sure can pick those futures. So when the NFL season does start, I will be making picks. You will see my Thursday night picks. You will see all Sunday picks, all Monday picks, and then on the podcast, I will bring in my picks. So I'm going to pick everything for you, and then the picks I'm telling you I'm going on is where my money is actually going to be going to. So follow me at LuciferM1989 everywhere. Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube. If with my live streaming area, I stream on Twitch, Trovo, X, and Facebook as well. So please follow me there. I stream every Thursday. We have some fun. It's always a fun, engaging chat. So come on in. Let's talk sports and watch me be the most average video game player you have ever seen. Now, as we hit the ice, can we send some love not only to the NFL, but to the NHL alone? We have our thoughts and prayers out to the Scheffler family. Reminder that this game that we love, known as hockey, is played by people, and families come first. Mike from the Winnipeg Jets had his father pass away right before Game 6 playing against the Dallas Stars. It was a very early morning phone call that he got. It was an emotional decision for him to play in Game 6, where he actually scored the first goal, gave Winnipeg the 1-0 lead before they ended up losing in overtime to Dallas, and Dallas moving on into the Western Conference Finals. But if we can have a quick moment of silence for Mike's father, I would appreciate that as well. Thank you. So who's the top pick in the upcoming NFL draft? And does it impact betting? We will see. I will say the NHL definitely has a lot more rookies that can come out and really affect the odds. So much more greater than the NFL can. We've seen a lot of overall picks actually make their way through, have very long, successful careers within the NHL. But your top 2 picks that you're looking at, and they're really kind of looking to go 1-2 in this order. So remember, Islanders have the first overall pick on June 27th when the draft happens. It's going to be on ESPN, I believe 7 o'clock in the afternoon, or 7 o'clock in the evening is when that will happen. But right now it's looking like most of the analysts are leaning towards Matthew Schaefer, who is a 17-year-old defenseman, strong two-way player. He's coming off of injury from last season where he actually only played 17 games. Beginning of May, he got the okay to actually go contact again. But he's a very, very strong defenseman. He has had an amazing year in the OHL, just as much as his counterpart, Michael Misa, who is an 18-year-old center, who is also in the OHL as well. Either way, these 2 players, one defenseman, one forward. By the way, Misa had 134 points in 65 games this past year. I mean, he is a pure offensive player. He even had something stupid like a plus 24. Like, it was absolutely amazing year. But between the Islanders with 1 and the Sharks with the 2 pick, both of these players are going to make a direct impact with whoever drafts them. Islanders can go both ways. They need a little help on offense. They definitely needed some help on defense. And then likewise with the Sharks. Again, the Sharks finishing last in the NHL last year. So I don't have the odds for you here, but as we get closer, again, we're still about a month out from the NHL draft. So as we get closer to the Stanley, the actual deliverance of the Stanley Cup, we will definitely be updating your odds on these 2. But like I said, they're going to make a direct impact. It's going to be fun to watch these 2 kind of grow up and see what they're able to do for the league. So what's going on in the NHL playoffs? What's the latest? Andrew, talk to me. I guess we lost Andrew. Okay, so here we are. Panthers are up 2-0 on the Canes and winning with a vindication. Like, puck lines apparently are where we want to go right now with the Panthers. If not, just throw your money on them, and we'll get to the Stanley Cup futures here in a second. The Stars lead the Oilers 1-0, so we'll see what happens Friday night. But the Panthers look locked in. Their speed is breaking teams down. Not just their speed, but their physicality as well. They are a very physical team. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, I have my picks are the Panthers and the Stars in the finals. We'll see what happens. My pick was always whoever won the Panthers Lightning series, even though I said the Lightning were going to win that series. Whoever won that series was going to win the Stanley Cup. So my pick is with the Panthers, who are currently the favorite at plus 120, Stars plus 200, Oilers plus 350, Hurricanes plus 900, obviously being down 2-0. But if we remember back when the playoffs first started, the Panthers and the Hurricanes were the top 2 teams to win the Stanley Cup. They were the favorites. So we have them now in the finals. We're going to see what happens. And I do believe, even though they're down 2-0 right now, I think we'll still get a little bit of a series out of this, but I still expect the Panthers to take over. And likewise, the Dallas Stars to take down the Oilers, and we'll see the Panthers and the Oilers here in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now, normally the season is still going on, but normally when the season's going on, again, on Facebook and X, I always post the Sunday picks for the NHL. So when the season gets back going here, come October, again, follow me at LuciferM1989 on those 2 platforms to see my betting picks. Again, on the podcast, I will go over where I'm putting my money at, but I will give you picks for all of those games. I am never 100% correct. Vegas probably loves me, because on my sheets, if I was to bet on every game, I'm a solid 50-50 guy, maybe a little bit more than 50% picking everything correctly. But, in the grand scheme of things, when odds shift, Vegas, all they care about is making sure that half of the money is on one side and the other. They don't care who bets on it, what the percentage of bets is. What they're looking at is bets. Not bets, they're looking at the dollars. So is there $50,000 on this team and $50,000 on that team? Perfect, right where we want to be, because they will always come out on top when that happens. We're going to hit the green. Always weird that we go from green grass to ice back to green grass. But hey, here we are. That's how we roll at tea time to overtime. So we're going to hit the greens here, and the man of the PGA, Scottie Scheffler, won the PGA Championship. He is halfway now to his Grand Slam, career Grand Slam. He still needs to win the U.S. Open, and he still needs to win the Open. I still always want to call it the British Open, but it's the Open. So he needs to win those two. So Scottie could technically complete his career Grand Slam this year, but we'll see. We'll have some fun. Memory serves me, just off the top of my head, I feel like he's not the strongest when it comes to those two, especially the courses that will be played for those as well. But he's definitely going to be a lock-in for the Ryder Cup as we get closer, a few months down the road for here, that news will definitely pop up. But what names are we going to keep our eye on as the PGA season continues? My picks, my three players that I'm currently watching are Corey Connors, who's currently 7th in the FedEx Cup. He's been very sneaky. Corey Connors is a good player, and he's actually been kind of a quiet, lone underdog this year. And he's currently 7th in the FedEx Cup. He has 5 top 10s this season. He hasn't won yet. But I feel like it might be a matter of time. He doesn't even have a runner-up, but we're still good. He has 7 top 20s in the last 8 starts as well. So we need to keep an eye on his putter. It's been the thing that has really turned him around, whereas in the past couple seasons, it's been below average putting. But this year, he has actually now gotten to the point where he is gaining strokes on there. So, strokes gained. So he is a little bit above average on his putter. But, once the pros figure that out, they're pretty solid. That putting stroke is going to stay there for a very long time, as long as he doesn't get stupid and try to change it. A swing, sure, I understand. But once you figure out your putting stroke, man, just don't ever touch it again. Keep with your coach. Make sure he's perfecting it and going on. The second person I am keeping an eye on as well is my fellow Florida State Seminole, Daniel Berger. He's currently 15th in the standing. And he has had some back injuries in the past couple years, because 2022 he came out, swinging. We all thought there were going to be great things happening. We thought Daniel Berger, Brooks Koepka, these two kids coming out of Florida State were going to take over the PGA Tour. But his back injuries put him behind. But this season he's healthy. He has played in 13 events. He's had one runner-up, 2 top 10s, and 9 top 25s. He's looking great. He didn't start off the week very good at the Charles Schwab, but I'll get to that in a second. And then my third guy I'm keeping an eye on is our breakout rookie, Ryan Gerard. He's 33rd in FedEx Cups. He finished with a tie for 8th at the PGA Championship last week. So he has played in 15 events, including the PGA Championship. He has 1 runner-up, 3 top 10s, 7 top 25s, and he is catching the eye of everybody on the PGA right now. So excited to see what he's going to do with the rest of the season, but I do like those guys moving forward. Now, this week, we are at the Charles Schwab. At the beginning of round 1, we had Scottie Scheffler plus 225 to win it as the outright favorite. Daniel Berger plus 2,000, Jordan Spieth at 2,250. Those are 3 big guys with some chances. Again, Berger sliding a little bit. Spieth was still in there. But after round 1, the round 2 movers, we had Scottie Scheffler, who is still the favorite to win at plus 240, which throws me off a little bit because right now he's currently tied for 20th at 2 under, which is 5 behind the leader. I understand he's the world one, but That's a hole to climb out of to win the tournament. And Tommy Fleetwood plus 1,600. He's tied for 11th at -3. There's a slew of guys at -4, which is tied for second right now. So let's take our leader, the title. So you have 10 guys that are 2 under right now. So again, it's going to be a tight match for there. And the leader, John Pack, first time I've ever actually heard this name, especially all season long. He is at plus 4,000 to win the tournament, and he is the leader at 7 under. So my picks going into the weekend, going into the tournament, I actually had Daniel Berger and Gerard to finish in the top 10. Berger at plus 240 and Gerard at plus 550. Gerard's looking good for that bet, but Berger, he's got some climbing he's got to do. Cheering him on here today, Friday. Just need to make that cut and come out with a great weekend try. In terms of 72-hole matchups, I took Berger minus 110 over Spieth. Again, we got some climbing we got to do for that one. I have McNeely at 105 over Matsuyama. There was about a 3-stroke difference between the two when at the end of Friday. So that one's going to stay close. That'll be a fun one to watch. I also went to the full tournament group bets. So I had just put a very small bet on Daniel Berger at plus 650. Now these group bets are always fun and entertaining because it's taking 4 or 5 guys and saying, okay, who's going to win out of this group? So group A was Scottie Scheffler, Tommy Fleetwood, Jordan Spieth, Daniel Berger, and Hideki Matsuyama. Those were the 5 players in group A. Scheffler obviously the one to beat everybody out in that group. But I really liked Berger, how he's playing at plus 650, so took a chance on him this week to see if this would be it. Not looking good after Thursday, but hey, let's go. Group B, I took Maverick McNeely at plus 300. Within that group, he was actually favored to win over Harris English, Aaron Rai, and Robert McIntyre and JT Poston. But those were my picks that I had for this weekend. So start following me on X and Facebook. Again, you'll see my posts on Wednesday there. And then I'm going to try to make a conscious bet on Sundays to kind of see who I like, who's there, who's towards the top, who's playing hot. So then maybe we can look at some head-to-head matchups and possibly call who's going to win the tournament. Now, don't forget, you guys can find me everywhere on the internet at LuciferM1989. That's on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch, and Trovo when I'm live streaming. Last week we played Destiny 2. We're going to continue with Destiny 2 this coming week on Thursday, which I stream every Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on one of those favorite platforms. I know one of those is your favorite platform, so go on, check me out, and join in the fun. But that's a wrap for this round of Tee Time to Overtime. From game-changing contracts to cup contenders and golf's rising stars, we've covered it all, including the odds. Like what you heard? Subscribe, rate, and follow. Got a bold pick or a long shot you're riding? Drop it in the comments or tag me. And remember, play smart, bet responsibly, and enjoy the game. This is Tee Time to Overtime. See you next time.